All right, hello. So this is kind of the start of a new sort of era. Um where I am I am honestly going to attempt this. And I know it's definitely just so easy to say just show up on camera and be super authentic. But I know, at least for me, that there's always this element of a hold back, uh, don't share everything kind of thing. Is it too much? Blah, 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 blah. So this is kind of like my own attempt of trying to overcome some of that. And I figured honestly, one of the best ways to do it is just telling stories and just sharing the things that are going on. So given that tomorrow is Thanksgiving and I'm literally getting ready to hop in the car in a couple of hours. We're driving down to go spend Thanksgiving with my husband's family. And I'm totally looking forward to it. And in terms of being thankful, I know everybody says like spending time with your family and all this stuff, right? And I am, and I'm like, I honestly am. I'm genuinely looking forward to going and relaxing. And um, my family had kind of Thanksgiving traditions growing up, and a lot of those, changed and shifted and stuff as people grew up. And there's kind of that like nostalgic wish of like, oh, can it be like when we were kids? This is how I know I'm getting old, right? It's like, oh yeah, remember when? I mean, all those things that old people said, like now I'm saying them. It's ridiculous. But, you know, is what it is. And I'm thankful that I'm growing older as opposed to the alternative. So um so our Thanksgiving tradition is with Cody's family is so we always get there, usually the day before Thanksgiving. And we haven't done this for a couple of years, which is why I'm like very excited, because we kind of created this tradition, right? And then we've been trading off, families as you do, and so we haven't been there for Thanksgiving for a couple of years. So the tradition is we get there the day before Thanksgiving, and his mom always makes shit on a shingle, which is, for those of you who may not be familiar with that term, it's basically toast with ham and white gravy over top of it. So the ham and the white gravy is the shit, and it goes on the bread, which is the shingle. Right? So we always end up having shit on a shingle. And she always makes the what is the word? Pumpkin. She always makes the pumpkin pies that night. And then typically I'll make the dough for wow, there's just all these stories, and you're probably like, why do I even care? So another story. Cody's grandma, his mom's mom, she was known, one of her things that she was known for was lemon meringue pie. And she never gave her recipe to anybody, including her children. And before she died, Cody and I were down there visiting his grandma. And she started talking about her lemon meringue pie, and she whipped out that recipe and gave it to me. And his mom was like, are you kidding me? So she's like, fine, then you get to figure it out, because this is one of those recipes. This is one of those like generational passed down recipes where it's literally like a pinch of this, a dash of this, cook for 20 minutes. Like it was, we had to interpret and play and figure it out. And there were many failures before we finally figured it out and nailed it. And so since Cody and I figured it out, nobody else wanted to. So they're like, oh, you just make the lemon meringue pie. So it's become this tradition. His mom makes the why I just want to call it Thanksgiving pie, the pumpkin pie the night before, right? And then I usually end up making the crust for the lemon meringue, and then the next day make the actual meringue, right? And then bake it up. So very much looking forward to that. Oh, and then we spend all day in jammies and pretty much just like eating and drinking all day, and everybody kind of cooking together. And it's just very relaxing and very fun. And yeah, it just feels very like whole, very, very comforting. So anyway, so this year, instead of making the crust today when we get there, the pie crust, what I did is I actually used some of sourdough starter that I have. And so I'll get to that story in just a sec. But so we actually already made the pie crust and it's sitting in the fridge so we can take it down, and I will still roll it out and bake it and everything. So it's all ready to go. But be the first time that I'm ever trying a sourdough pie crust, which should be very interesting. We'll see how well it works. But where that came from is because I have been making dough. And this came from, so my husband is very, very into smoker and our griddle and stuff like that. Like he's sort of the meat master, right? And so when I was off, I was attending JVX Live several weeks ago, and Cody messaged me. He's like, I think I'm gonna get some pork belly and try to make some bacon. And I'm like, all right, go for it. So he took the pork belly and did the brine and vacuum sealed it and had to sit in the fridge for several weeks, and all the curing salt and everything just kind of like soaked in, right? And then we had to like smoke at really low temperature to kind of finish off all of the curing, right? And then we cut it up and we have our very own slab bacon, and it's so good. So we were in honoring the bacon, we decided, hey, let's have BLTs, right? So we got some fresh sourdough bread and stuff from the grocery store. And I was like, the only thing that would make this better is if we made our own bread, because we just made our own bacon, right? And then Cody's like, we should do that. So I'm like, I was like, it's way too hard. It's too difficult of a thing to do. I don't think we have the time, whatever. He looked it up and he's like, look, you can literally make your own starter in like 8 days. I'm like, oh, that's not that hard. This is one of those old stories that I'm like, I need to break this, right? And I said, so why don't I take this on? Like, I will take this on and feed this thing and raise and grow these little yeasties into wonderful glory, goodness. And so that's what I've been doing. And our starter actually came along and did really well, and took a little bit longer just because of the cold temps that we have here. But then I have forayed into my very first attempt at making dough and bread, sourdough bread. So the first one was a fail. I mean, it tasted good, but the bread didn't really rise. The second ones, they rose up and just look absolutely beautiful. And then every time you're feeding the starter, right, you have to scoop most of it out and then refeed it. And so when you're scooping that out, most of the time you just throw it away, and it's like, that sucks. Like, I just raised all those little yeasties and they're so awesome, and then I'm just going to throw them away. So that's where the pie crust came from, because we can actually just take that discard, right, and put it into the pie crust and give it kind of an extra flakiness and that sour kind of flavor. So anyway, so yeah, I've been making dough. But by transition all that over into business, I have been making dough in business, and now it's the end of the year and everybody's trying to push for that anyway. I mean, honestly, at this point, we're like downhill slide, right? So one of the things that we've done with my team this year is, it's been so awesome. We've kind of teed up all of our customers. We're doing done for you stuff. We had everything kind of pulled together so that we are ready with all of their content and ads and everything through the middle of January, so that we know everybody in our team is going to be able to spend time with their families and enjoy the holidays and stuff like that. And so where that transitions into making dough for our business is, for the last couple of years, I've been focusing on working with customers and helping, like, pushing forward all of their stuff. And we are to the point where I'm consistently seeing like the same results. I know, like, I can predict what the results are going to be. And it's so awesome. It is so awesome to have found the patterns of how traffic flows around and everything, and then how it works with ads and how it works with social media, and then be like, all right, here's what we're going to do. and to see it work. And it's so awesome. Cobbler shoes, we haven't done it to our own stuff. I actually started the Content Toolbox podcast, like, I don't even know, 2 years ago or something like that. And we haven't run, like, all we've been doing is creating the content. So we've been doing the social media posts. I've been doing the SEO. We've been doing all the YouTube, the research. We have great information. We never added the ad component. So I'm not actually using the traffic trifecta. I've only been doing 2 of the 3 sides. And so now that's what I'm so excited about, is we're literally just now starting to turn on some ads and watch all of that content that we've been doing for years and finally do the thing it's supposed to do. So my goal through the rest of December here, towards the end of the year, is to make some dough, make some dough in business and make some dough at home, right? So that's exactly what I'm doing. And because of that, I decided we paused the Content Toolbox, because I have enough content. We can repurpose it. We can do all the things we need to. We need to add that 3rd tier in. And so I'm like, rather than working on creating more content, we're just going to focus on actually running our content activation method. And so I'm kind of excited about that. And then we're also bringing up a different podcast show so that I have a platform for guests to come onto. And so actually we're bringing up a couple of them. One that's guests targeted at like high-level gurus. And so that's going to be, basically me bribing them to try to get them in a room and have a personal, real conversation to really just get to know people. And then another for other business owners as a platform, as a stage, as a place to be able to feature them and share and showcase their expertise. So I'm excited about all of the changes and things that we're doing, and hopefully all of it will lead to the good kind of dough for business and also the good kind of dough for my belly. So I hope that this was at least a little fun and entertaining, and maybe you can relate. And this is me attempting to just kind of share some of the things that, like, nothing is perfect about this entrepreneur journey, and very little ever goes according to plan. So kind of sharing what's happening behind the scenes. Right now, most of my team has been down with COVID over the last month. And so I'm just happy that we're able to let everybody take the time that they need to be able to get ready, or, get over this flu, cold, whatever you want to call it. But that we're all kind of picking up the pieces, and we're able to still serve our customers. And now we're actually taking on doing stuff for ourselves. So I will stop talking now, but I hope that the holidays find you well. And I hope that you are enjoying your own Thanksgiving wonderfulness. And I will catch you soon with another vlog. I'm going to try to continue doing these, kind of sharing what's going on. It feels a little weird, I got to admit, but it's fun.